must hurt to not be able to tell them you're their son.
Oh, Flash, we are going to have the most wonderful day together.
So guys, get excited because it's finally happening. The Flash Season 9 is making its comeback from after easily the best episode of the season so far with episode 9. We are slapped with probably the most exciting teaser trailer we've ever had on the show, and it looks like we are finally going to be getting the full circle moment between the Flash and the Reverse Flash that we have all been wanting to see for many years now. This is the trailer for The Flash Season 9 Episode 10, also titled A New World Part 1, and this is also the beginning of the final storyline of the show ever. The showrunner, aka Eric Wallace, has confirmed that this is going to be a 4-part finale, so yeah, things are going to be big, and from this trailer already we can tell that they are not messing around with this graphic novel, and oh my god, I am so excited to talk about this trailer in particular. So yeah, welcome everyone to my trailer breakdown for The Flash Season 9 Episode 10, titled A New World Part 1. Now, just before I get into the trailer breakdown itself, I'm going to go over the synopsis for the episode first, as it does give us a better idea in regards to what's happening in this episode, and obviously when we link the synopsis with the trailer, we can pretty much assume what's going to happen. So the synopsis kicks off as followed. Live in the moment. As Iris receives a word of a career milestone, Barry is suddenly nowhere to be found. In trying to get back home, Barry runs across many familiar faces. Keone continues to figure out her powers, and Chester works on a suit for Allegra. So this is the initial premise of this episode. In terms of Iris's, career milestone, obviously it's going to be the Pulitzer for the Red Death article that she's been working on. In terms of Barry going missing, this is pretty much what the whole trailer is about, so we're going to be touching upon that when we get into the trailer breakdown, and obviously when he runs across multiple familiar faces as well. In terms of the Keone part, we knew this was going to continue throughout the season, and yeah, we're delving more into her character and her abilities. But in terms of the Chester Allegra stuff, once again, it just doesn't interest me at all. But yeah, kicking off with this trailer, Barry is stuck in the past, most specifically in the year 2000, and this is before his mother is murdered. This is just going to be hours before his mother is murdered. Now, we can assume this from not only what we see in the trailer, but also Nora and Henry Allen in this trailer are wearing the exact same clothes that they wore in the night of Nora Allen's murder. So whatever's happening over here, this is just going to be hours before Nora Allen's murder. So this is going to be a very big and emotional episode for Barry's character, which we can kind of get a initial feel in this trailer. Now, Barry's on the phone and he mentions he's from the future, which it's a bit weird. Why is he on the phone telling people that he's from the future? I guess maybe this is when he first arrives to this timeline. He doesn't really know where he is at the moment, and he's trying to reach out to Team Flash, so he doesn't really know that he's stuck in the past, but he does say he's from the future, so I don't know. But Barry's obviously not able to go back home, so maybe his connection to the Speed Force, something's happened to it. Or maybe before a certain full circle moment happens, Barry is not allowed to go back home. Maybe this could be what is going on as well. I'm not entirely sure about that, but it's clear there is something messing with Barry so that he isn't able to go back home. But he's on the phone telling someone that he's, from the future and he needs help. So I'm assuming he's trying to, in some way, get in touch with Team Flash. However, he isn't able to. But something instantly catches Barry's eye as he, looks around, and he sees his parents walking. Barry notices this immediately, and, he gets very emotional about this, as obviously not only is he seeing both of his parents right in front of him, but also he is going to know that this is the day where it happens. This is the day where his life pretty much changes forever, and it's going to be very emotional because this is hours before his mother gets murdered, and this is Barry as an adult, so I'm assuming he's going to try and prevent it and various other things like that, and that's just going to further add into the emotion of this story and this tragic event. Now, something I found quite weird is Barry talking to Joe, and now obviously in terms of Joe's character over here, he's not captain, he's not detective, he's just a normal cop, and you can tell because he's wearing a normal police uniform. And yeah, he's talking to Joe saying he wants help, but in what way? Maybe it's that he knows that this is the day his mother dies. So, he asks Joe to like go there earlier so like nothing happens or something like that. I don't know, because in terms of like Barry's situation, how he's going to get home, I don't really see how Barry's going to benefit from Joe's help. So I'm assuming it's that Barry actually knows what's going to happen in this day, and he's trying to pretty much stop everything from happening, and he's trying to change the timeline, if you will. But yeah, we do have the return of the original Eobard Thawne. Matt Letcher is back for this episode. Now, it was obviously said that this was going to be a big episode for him, in which we all assumed that it would be an origin story for the Reverse Flash. However, we know that is not the case. We know what role he's now going to have in this episode, and it is the night of Nora Allen's murder and pretty much creating this full circle moment. But he asks Barry why they are in the year of 2000, and as we know, Eobard is here to kill Barry as a child. The reason why he showed up at the house to begin with in the year of 2000 was not to kill Nora Allen, it was to actually kill Barry as a child. But because of the original timeline Flash taking Barry out to the house, just speeding him away so that Thawne cannot find him, Thawne pretty much used all that rage to create Nora Allen as a plan B. So this is an Eobard Thawne that hasn't lived through the events of seasons 1 to 8 at all. So he doesn't know what's going to happen to him. He thinks he's going to be successful, but obviously he's not going to be. So this is the youngest version of Thawne we have, aside from the one we saw in season 2 that didn't know Barry is the Flash. So over here, this is just a couple of years older than the version of Eobard that we saw in season 2. So he doesn't know that he's going to end up becoming Harrison Wells. He doesn't know that he's going to end up being stuck in the past for 15 years. He doesn't know any of that. So this is what's going to create the full circle moment over here. So this is why this Eobard Thawne over here is the most important Eobard Thawne of the show. Now also, we do see the blue crystal in this trailer. Now obviously, for those who wouldn't remember, this was in the season 8 ending, and it was in the year 2049. So obviously this would bring up questions. How is this over here? Because we are in the past. We are in the year 2000. So how is this possible? Did Thawne use it, or did someone else? But all we know is that this is the reason why Barry is stuck. This is the reason why he's not able to go back to his own timeline or anything like that. It's because of this blue crystal. So obviously the question is this the doing of Eobard Thawne, or are we actually going to be seeing Eddie Thawne in some way in this episode? Who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we do have a brief scene of Barry getting like knocked over, and his parents are coming for the help. Now, as I said before, this is going to be a very, very emotional ride for Barry. Barry is trying to spend as much time with them as possible, I'm assuming, or he's trying to prevent his mother from dying as much as possible. So he's spending as much time with them as possible purposefully, so they do not go home to that night. I think this could be what Barry's trying to do. So he's trying to pretty much prevent what's going to happen. However, this is going to just be even more emotional, because the end result of what's going to happen is going to be inevitable. I think that's what's going to happen. It's just going to further add into the emotion into this like whole story and everything like that. Like, we do see Barry's emotion literally skyrocketing in this episode. Like, he's in tears. He's like trying to reverse Flash Eobard Thawne, and it's going to be a very emotional ride for Barry, and I'm just very, very interested to see how this all plays out. But the last couple of bits in this trailer is by far definitely going to be the most interesting and most exciting part, and we are on the street of Henry and Nora's house over here. Now, as you guys can see, we have the Flash and Reverse Flash both suited up, and oh my god, it looks like it's actually going to happen. We're going to be getting this full circle moment of Nora Allen's murder. So are we actually going to see everything this time in our Barry's point of view? Like, is he going to be the one that fights Reverse Flash in that house? It looks like he is going to be. So it seems like he is going to be the original timeline Flash that we saw, stopping his younger self from intervening. So if you guys remember, we do have that brief moment where a future version of the Flash tells his younger self to not interfere and stop his mother from dying. This is now going to be our Barry. So pretty much he does replace the original timeline Flash over here. So whatever the original timeline Flash does in the original timeline, Barry is pretty much going to be doing in this timeline to the dot. He's going to do the exact same thing. He's going to run his younger self out there so that Reverse Flash isn't able to kill him. And obviously Nora Allen's murder is going to happen, and we're going to see what happens after this tragic night of Nora Allen's murder as well. So not only in terms of what happens to Barry's character after that scene, but also we already know what's happening to Reverse Flash. We know Reverse Flash is going to end up stuck in the past for 15 years and eventually becomes Harrison Wells. So this creates the full circle moment, and this is why I am very, very excited for this episode in particular. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this episode. Are you guys looking forward to this as well? I'm interested to see all of your thoughts towards all of it. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.